Well, hi there. It is Monday, November the 18th, 2019. Journal 229 plus 230. I just finished rereading a blog post that our son Ryan put on his Iron Madman website. Uh, and I read it again. I read it first last night when it was posted. And I read it again today because I think frankly, it blew me away. I think it has a lot to say. It has a lot to say about a lot of different things. And while primarily or ostensibly about coaching and the nature of a coaching relationship, it has a lot to say about any relationship in life because so many times our definition of coaching is really too narrow, in my opinion. But the lead line, or the title of the blog post was Coaching is a Relationship. And it goes on to a lead sentence that says coaching is a relationship and not an activity. Now, I've coached and I've been coached. And I have the utmost respect for the skill, patience, and ability it takes to do that well. And the testimony to the fact that good coaching is a relationship is something that I hold very dear because my coach of more than 10 years and I are still friends to this day and communicate on a regular basis. And I wouldn't change that. I wouldn't change that for anything. And his coaching went well beyond anything that had to do with the automotive service business. And I think that's what that statement is all about, this nature of coaching as a relationship. Because in order for a coach to be effective, there has to be a level of respect, mutual respect, and there has to be trust. And both are built over time and are layered on many different levels. And if you think about it, and you think of all of the coaches that you've ever had, and you expand the definition beyond baseball or soccer or football or basketball or lacrosse or wrestling or baseball or any other sport, you begin to understand that it extends to teaching and even to friendship. I mean, if you define coaching, and the best definition of coaching that I've ever found, that works for me at least, is gentle correction. To allow yourself to be corrected takes all of those things: trust and mutual respect and admiration. And you have to excuse me, I keep wiping my lip, and that has to do with the GVHD issues that I'm having and the problems I'm having with the soft tissue in my mouth. So I know it's distracting, and believe me, if you think it's distracting for you, it's really distracting for me. In any case, if you think of every great teacher that you've ever had, and every horrible example of someone who shouldn't have been a teacher, they stand out. And they stand out for polar opposite reasons. The great teachers that you've had were probably a participant in some wonderful relationship that you shared. The great senseis that I've had, the wonderful sifus that I've had, the coaches, teachers, friends whose counsel you seek and listened to are all great examples of wonderful human beings. The people who have disappointed you, the people who have not seen you or not heard you or not entered into that relationship for whatever reason, because they've chosen not to, because they weren't interested, because they weren't capable, have left you feeling empty, alone, and disappointed. And I'm not sure that it has to be that way, because it takes so very little to enter into a relationship. The problem is that monitoring activities and giving scientific feedback and providing data can be presented in so many different ways. And for an effective coaching relationship, it has to be presented in a way that's going to help whoever the recipient is understand and accept that data, and then on their own agree to make whatever changes are necessary to get the performance improvement they're looking for. Recognizing that to a large degree, a very large chunk of your brain that's fighting any kind of change, tooth and nail. They are, the amygdala does not like change. It is not happy when you start doing things that are different and unfamiliar. So for you to go ahead and overcome whatever resistance you're feeling when you're taking in this information that's suggesting that you do things differently, there has to be a very, very strong why. And that why is built on trust, and it's built on mutual relationships. So this idea of coaching being a relationship is critical. And again, that's a very expanded definition of what coaching is and should be all about. I would like to think that, to a degree, part of what this blog is all about is gentle correction, gentle coaching, creating an awareness of different ideas, different paths in order to get to the top of the mountain, because there's more than one way to do that, more than one way to achieve success. But finding somebody that you can communicate with, finding somebody that sees you, finding somebody that hears you, finding someone who can tailor the help they can provide in a way that not only you're willing to listen, but to act, is an amazing gift. It's an amazing gift to have somebody like that in your life. And it's worth remembering that. It's worth remembering that. When you have somebody that's just providing and advice and direction and treats coaching as an activity, all you're left with is a transactional relationship, which is no relationship at all. This is what you did, this is what I see, this is what you need to change. It's very transactional. And my experience has been that the more transactional it is, the less likely it is to succeed. So when you're involved with another person in any kind of an interaction, an exchange of ideas, an interchange of any kind, whether it's commercial, it's personal, try and find someone you trust and respect, someone who listens to you, you're willing to listen to, and then throw yourself into that relationship. So thank you, Ryan. And I can say this with great love and affection. Ryan has coached me often of late. And it goes to that biblical injunction that the children will teach you and it's really a gift when it's your children. Love you. Take care. Stay well. Be back tomorrow.